So the Sonic Lego Dimensions level pack was released this week, and to much praise, despite being full of memes and in-jokes, like Knuckles throwing away Shadow's gun.
Well, let's be fair. I mean, if you're gonna do memes and jokes, you might as well do it in Lego.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I think all the memes and such is like just being referenced over and over again, especially with Sonic. It's just like, I don't know, it's not really funny anymore.
Well, let's be
Oh,
fair. I mean, we used to go from the social media trying to ignore that to just embracing it now. So there you go.
yeah, but at the same time, it's like with other stuff you can easily parody it. With Sonic, it's already a parody of itself.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
that's the difference I see it.
Okay then. But still, like I said, here's something we've been looking forward to for a bit, which you still haven't got dimensions yet, but I definitely getting mine for Christmas.
Yeah. So, but also another level pack came out. I think
Well, what's
this last week or recently, and
recently? Yeah,
it's the Fantastic Beast level pack.
yeah,
Had a little secret,
quite a big one.
and that is a levels based on Red Dwarf, specifically Red Dwarf 11.
Yes. 2016 may have been a shit year, but it's been pretty good for Red Dwarf.
Pretty good for Red Dwarf. We had a new series we're doing podcasts on, and now we see there's been
We've had a
Android game.
exactly. We've had a mobile game. Now we're getting another game within a game.
Yeah, the very what I'll call the Lego standard game, but this time with characters we love.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the screenshots show the bunk room, the
Science room, Medilab.
the Medilab, and a couple of hallways
Hmm.
with a Red Dwarf logo.
Jupiter Mining Corporation.
Hmm. So all I can think of is right now is like, how would this work? It's having been a basic Lego game, just run around, beat up stuff, make them fall apart, and build stuff.
Yeah,
Set in this sci-fi comedy world.
exactly.
Would this just be a fun pack or a level pack? Because if it was a level pack, like how would you do a story around it? Considering there doesn't really be an overarching story. Not compared to Sonic, which is a different story every game, but with Red Dwarf, it's just is a little situation we got ourselves into, and let's have a bunch of laughs about it.
Yeah.
And also, how can you make a parody, which in itself is a parody on sci-fi?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. All right. Like I said, so Red Dwarf being like a surprise Easter egg level within another game pack. I mean, that's nothing new. I mean, Dimensions have been doing this they've been hinting at these things for a bit. Like they've done the Flintstones, Jetsons level, and it's funny because a while back there was a documentary about Lego's, development and how they do this stuff. And a lot of the things they do is they plan ahead like 2 years in advance. So whether or not this is Traveller's Tales way, little level Easter eggs saying that these are going to happen, but not for a while, but would you a taster for what might come.
Because I read on this article on Eurogamer, well, link in the description. It says that the Genesis of the Earth levels were accessible via the TARDIS, which was tied to the fact that Lego Dimensions has a Scooby-Doo area.
I mean, if that's the thing. It's like you can do in these games. If you have a particular character, they can do things like dig a hole, enter an area, or break down walls. And most of the time, it's done for like, oh look, there's a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge moment there for you.
Yeah, because the Doctor Who pack was like a big thing when it came out. Not only did you get changed between all 12 Doctors, but all 13 Doctors, depending. But you can use a TARDIS to actually jump into new areas that you didn't know existed yet because there's no level packs.
Yeah, this is the use of using the Doctor Who set, is that basically you can jump into these secret little bonus levels. So, and like I said, they've done it with Red Dwarf within the Fantastic Beast pack.
But furthermore on that, it's apparently on Lego Ideas, which also put forward a Lego Doctor Who pack. There is someone's actually put forward a Red Dwarf building
Yeah.
set.
I want to bring this up actually. Yeah, before this, somebody's had been trying to get a probably named Red Dwarf Lego set up and running on the website by a guy called Lego Bob 32. And as I've looked at it, it's apparently now got up to 1,000 people's interest in it, and apparently now it's been submitted to Lego itself.
Not 1,000, 10,000 supporters.
yeah, it's already been, it's got a commission from that many people, and now Lego are going to be looking at this and assessing whether they want to turn this to a set. Which, let's be fair, the fact that this has happened already within Dimension's game, I think it's more likely it is going to happen because, like I said, if Grant Naylor Productions, the people, that's what Red Dwarf's owned by, if they're allowed to have that as a bonus in one little game, then I think the fact that somebody else is trying to make essentially like, hey, here's a playset idea for a brand of Lego Red Dwarf, it's not too likely that these two are probably interconnected with each other, and sooner or later we're going to get something out of this much bigger.
Well, I would definitely buy a Lego set.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just to get a Lego walking blue midget, that's something
or Starbug, or because we've seen fan builds, like we went to a memorabilia or a Comic-Con in a sense, where they actually had Lego Scutters and a Lego Red Dwarf, and you in fact have a Lego Red Dwarf.
The Lego Red Dwarf pencil ship version of it, not the Series 10 look, which is basically that, but it's cut shorter. But yeah,
we got the Red Dwarf ball look. Then we have the pencil look, which is from the Body Snatcher / Series 8, and then we have the short pencil.
Yeah, which is what we have now.
Which is Back to Earth onwards.
Yeah, pretty much Back to Earth, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's got me thinking a little bit about, as we've been trying to talk about this, it's got me thinking exactly how on earth would they want to do this, because, like I said, I mean, Lego has done, they've done Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and they're all based on, like, big movies, and the way they work is they try and recreate moments or sequences from the movies into levels. And the question
it's like 20 different games, all fundamentally the same game. It's like, like I said, you run, you hit, you build, you collect studs, or in Sonic's case, it's actually rings, surprisingly. And the only thing that changes is basically how it is all connected together. Like Star Wars, it was lightsabers. Then with Indiana Jones, it's the whip, and with Pirates, it's swords, and Harry Potter, it's magic.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they've all done, now the regular Lego characters can now self-build parts of the level themselves, as they're just using an ability to do it. But it does make you wonder a bit, if they want to do this in the future, if we are going to get a Red Dwarf level pack, story pack, whatever you want, the question is, what would they like to do with it?
I think it would be probably a lot of references. I mean, unlike Star Wars and Harry Potter, it's like there's no film to build upon. This is a TV series. And surprisingly, and I think like with Doctor Who level pack, it's basically, oh, here's a Dalek, here's a Cyberman, and just, oh, remember them kind of thing. Like, oh, here's Dwayne Dibley, here's Ace Rimmer, here's the Polymorph.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, the Sonic one particularly, I mean, they have built like their own self-contained like mini story within that to make it work for the game. And it would be interesting how they do it with Red Dwarf. I mean, I know with the first Ghostbusters movie they pretty much tried to it was trying to recreate the first movie via, redoing moments from the movies as levels, and, cutting certain sections into little cutscenes. And I'm kind of interested, particularly in Ghostbusters' case, they reused a lot of the original track from the movies, the original dialogue. And I'd be curious for Red Dwarf, would it be more like they want to try and recreate a new story using old audio clips from the show, or try and do something new and get the cast in to re-record brand new lines for a self-contained little thing?
I would assume re-record lines. So, like, if they manage to get the cast of Sonic the Hedgehog to re-record lines to have a small area, then why not?
I mean, if anything, this would be a good excuse to them do, like, if they are going to do, like, a self-contained story, you could reuse some of the old episode ideas in this. Like, they keep jumping from, because one of the theories fans love to talk about is each series of Red Dwarf is its own universe. So you could do an excuse that you could take a particular episode from every series and then have the characters look different or the sets different and have the level built around that.
Yeah, you have, like, 5 different Rimmers.
Exactly. So you have, like, the green, red, and blue Rimmer, and, and you have
all the Red Dwarf uniform.
Exactly. And also the sets, you have the series 1 to 2 bunk room, the series 4 to 5, and then 3 to 5, sorry, 8, and all that stuff. So again, there is possibilities. I mean, that's part of the fun of Lego, is that you have the excuses to go in and sort of repurpose stuff from the past and trying to. I mean, this is one thing I will say. Will have to tone down, if they're going to do this, they will have to tone down either certain jokes or references, because this is arguably still for a kid's audience. And that's the Red Dwarf like a kid's show, but kids are going to watch it because it's Red Dwarf.
You got kind of quiet then and stuttering.
Yeah.
You want to say that last sentence again?
Sorry?
You want to say that last sentence again because you got kind of quiet?
Yeah, sorry, my dad's my tea's ready. I just want to try and get this done quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. What was I said? What did I just say?
About being careful with the references.
Yeah. Like I said, the one thing they'll have to do is that if they are going to recreate or reuse old scenes or moments from the show, they're going to have to turn them down a bit because, this being for kids, essentially, they're going to have to soften some of the jokes or some of the references. Because that's how Lego works. I mean, part of the fun of Lego is that you take stuff from Lord of the Rings, which, let's be fair, is at times it can be ridiculously violent, but they find a way of trying to tone that down, just make it ridiculous. So it'd be possible, though, like I said, for a show that does use the word bastard, shit, twat quite a bit, it will be difficult, but it'll be interesting to see what they try and do.
Well, I don't think any kid in the world knows what the hell smeg means.
Well, Smeg's okay. They can get away with that.
They can get away with smeg.